We'll bring Coach Golden and Walter Clayton in here, and then if any additional players are needed, we'll do them in the hallway here.
Okay, thank you.
You say, hey, Tal, you say you finna tell him? I just told him where we was coming from. Tell him wait for me, though.
Big dog chair right here.
Nah, that's the middle, man.
I feel like Phil Jackson.
Take an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll do questions for Walter, and then questions for Coach.
It's an incredible win for our program. I thought our guys were fantastic for 40 minutes tonight. We were able to withstand a little rush early in the game, which we knew we were going to see. And, over the last 36 minutes of the game, I thought we were just about as good as you can be in an environment like this. We took care of the basketball, limited their opportunities to run out and transition. We rebounded really well until about the last 8 minutes of the game. I thought we defended very well, limited their opportunities to get transition baskets, which is a huge key to giving yourself a chance to compete in here. And as I told the guys in the locker room, to win a game like this, you got to step up and make some shots. We made 13 threes. We were 15 for 18 from the foul line, and our players deserve all the credit for this victory today.
Question for Walter.
Walter, obviously coming off the ankle injury, how did it feel in the early going in to get 16 points in the first half? Even kind of surprised yourself a little, or just what kind of rhythm you got in there?
Nah, ankle's fine now. Training team did a good job, just all week being in there with me. So ankle's been feeling good. And I've still been in the gym, getting my shots up, so no surprise.
You saw the team kind of with you on the bench the other day rally, and today Elijah's on the bench. So what's the message?
Man, I think we all got a next man up mentality, and Lodge wasn't on the court, but Lodge was still there. He was talking the whole game. He was telling us what he seen. Same thing when I was on the bench. I was just telling the guys what we seen. So it was just a lot of great communication between us today, and we executed like Coach said.
Todd, what does this mean to your program from a historical perspective? Never being the #1 team on the road. Auburn had won 30 straight home games.
It's incredible, man. I'm very proud of our program and where it is in year 3. And again, I think it speaks a lot about our staff and our players to be able to come into an environment like this. Obviously, I worked here for 2 years, and I know what being able to compete in here is all about. Obviously, Bruce and their program's done an incredible job. They're the best team in the country. One of, if not the best environments in America. The crowd is just insane. You make one mistake and the place is going nuts. And again, I think the biggest key was the mental toughness of our team. We just executed for 37 minutes. In that second half, it felt like we were out there forever. And I kept looking up at the clock. It was still 13, 12 minutes. It just seemed like it was never going to run out. But at halftime, we talked to the guys about wanting to play 60 more minutes, not just 20. But no, it's a huge win for us. It's a really big win for us. Obviously, it's a needle mover in terms of NCAA seeding. It's a needle mover in terms of where we finish in the SEC. And I'd be hard-pressed to believe there's going to be another club that's going to be able to come in here in conference play and get a win.
Walter, 9 assists in the game, and I think the team had 22. Just can you speak to the execution and the ability to kind of find each other this game?
Yeah, the ball was definitely moving around great today. Guys was just hitting shots. Herb was hitting shots, Zell was hitting shots, Will was hitting shots, Kondo the big. I think everybody was just hitting shots. So I think that's good execution on our part, and that's where a lot of the assists came from.
What do Thomas hustle plays do for the bench, do for you guys on the floor when he makes those plays like that?
Man, they do a lot. Auburn was starting to get some momentum, and then Tommy got 2 rebounds down there, kicked it out, Zell hit the 3. So that's just a momentum shift play. He makes a lot of those game in and game out. So we definitely appreciate what he's doing. He's great for us.
All right, anything else for Walter? All right, thank you, Walter.
Yeah, good one.
Thank you.
Question, Coach.
Todd, I think Klefschar had another one of those hustle plays. Can you speak to those kind of plays during the course of the game and how they're needed, to pull off a win like this on the road?
Yeah, I mean, you need guys to step up and make swing plays. And I thought Irby specifically, obviously this week, has been one of our most valuable players. With Walter being out on Tuesday, stepped up, hit 2 big threes in the second half that extended that lead. And then today, those 2 threes in the second half, I think, again, on back-to-back possessions are close to it, were just huge shots. And again, to win a game like this, you need plays like that. You're not going to hold them to 50 and, you got to step up and make some shots. And Irby, to his credit, has not gotten a great opportunity this year with these 2 injuries. It's been his time, and he's been ready. And I think that speaks to his professionalism, his toughness, and his unselfishness to be able to keep such a great mindset during a time where he hasn't been playing that much.
Just following up on that, you've now been shorthanded the last 2 games, 2 huge wins. What can that do for your team moving forward in terms of depth and confidence and all that stuff?
I think it's massive, and it's not something that you necessarily want to deal with. You don't want Walter Clayton to miss a game in the SEC. You don't want Elijah Martin to miss a game. Those guys have been so good for us all year. But one of the unintended kind of benefits of that happening is these other guys get an opportunity to step up and make plays. And I thought Denzel's had a monster week. He played 35 minutes against Vanderbilt with no turnovers. Tonight, played 28 minutes, had, double figures, some big rebounds, some big assists in the second half. And again, Irby, who was kind of that 5th guard who was squeezed out of the rotation early, steps up and plays like a big-time player, in a big-time atmosphere, 3 threes, just incredibly valuable efforts by all of our players.
On the left.
Coach, you and Bruce and the rest of the coaching staff just had some big embraces pregame. What conversations did y'all have just back and forth before the game started?
I think it's a very unique, just dynamic, right? And I think the funny thing for me is when I was the head coach at San Francisco, I had to compete against my alma mater and the head coach that I played for, and Randy Bennett. And I always hated doing that. And, you come to the SEC and you're like, all right, you're getting kind of out of your zone geographically. You're on the East Coast, but, I'm competing against Bruce and Steven, guys that I consider family. And, I would not be in this position as the head coach of the University of Florida without my time and my relationship with Bruce. He's made me so much better as a coach, better as a person, and is one of my role models and my mentors. And Steven, is one of my best friends, and we talk every day. Usually we're texting about other teams in the league, and if we have any things that we can share with each other. There was still some conversation this week, but it wasn't necessarily about basketball as much. Just some kind of friendly banter back and forth. But I owe a ton of my career to them, and I would not be where I am without them, and I love them for it.
Walter's ability to find guys in the second half, it seemed like he was a scorer in the first half, and then the second half he was more the distributor. He really found Alex a few times on those plays.
He's just a great player, and he's going to take what the defense gives him. I thought the first half he made some big-time shots that kind of settled us and calmed their defense down. And in the second half, I thought they made a good kind of tactical decision to start putting 2 on the ball and try to get the ball out of his hands and see if other guys could beat us. And he was still able to handle those traps and get into positions where he can make plays for others. And our guys stepped up and made some shots. You don't get 9 assists without other guys making shots. And he just played an incredible floor game. I ripped him for 40 minutes tonight, and that was a decision I kind of made early in the game because he was playing so well. And, being shorthanded without Mart, I think he was at the under 8 of the first half. I looked at him, and I thought he looked great. He didn't look winded. He looked like he was in, mid-season form. And I warned him at that point. I said, dude, there's a good chance you play 40 tonight. And he's like, I got it. And the rest was history.
There were some incredible effort plays, too, Coach. One I think of is Condo tapping the, slapping the ball back and you make a 3 to put your team up by 12.
Yeah.
How about the incredible effort on those plays like that?
It's what it takes to win a ball game like this. And I think that's one of the best qualities of our team is, we kind of think of ourselves from top to bottom, from myself down to the last man on our team, as kind of being a team that has to play with a chip on their shoulder at all times, being not necessarily underrated, but maybe, underappreciated a little bit. We've been a good team all year. A lot of our guys were, for lack of a better term, under-recruited. We don't have a lot of 5-star guys on our team. I don't think we have one, actually. We have a lot of mid to low major transfers, a lot of guys that weren't recruited by other teams in our league. And, it's something we talk about and think about a lot. It's just playing with that chip on our shoulder and make sure we're the harder playing team. And, without trying to take anything away from Auburn, I thought we were, we executed that today. We played really, really hard.
Player of the Year candidate, how are you able to hold him to 8 and 19?
You know what? I thought our guys did a great job of just kind of executing our game plan. Obviously, he has played like the best player in America, to this point, and deserves all that recognition. I recruited Janai when I first got the job at Florida, and Bruce, punked me on it, and he got the best player in America for a couple of years, tough one to swallow. But Janai's a great kid, and I think our guys did a great job of sitting on his right shoulder. He's obviously left-hand dominant, and, we talked to our guys before the game about we're okay with him making a few over his left shoulder with his right hand, even if they're easier shots, to kind of take him out of his rhythm, take him out of his flow. And, he still got back to that right shoulder a couple times, but we made it hard on him. And I thought Kondo was incredibly physical and tough guarding him, and I thought Rube did a great job when he had minutes on him, just making him work for every basket. He really didn't get many easy ones tonight, so with him still making 8 field goals, I felt like we made him work for all of them.
Take one more down front here.
Auburn went on that early run, went up 15-5, I think it was, early in the game. Was there anything you guys keyed in from there offensively that kind of allowed y'all to take control and move the rest of the way?
I thought we just had to settle a little bit. It's obviously an incredible environment. It's loud, it's raucous. It is an incredible venue, man. It's just like, it's such an incredible place to compete. And, this was a huge game, right? 6 coming in to play number 1. Was supposed to be on ESPN before, Luka and LeBron both sat out, and we got moved to ESPN 2. But everybody knew kind of how big this game was, and Auburn came out playing great, which we expected, and we knew we were going to kind of have to take some punches to survive and stay on our feet in this game. And it was kind of similar to when we came in here a couple of years ago. We had to take that first punch, and if we got settled and started guarding a little bit, making some shots, we thought we'd be okay. And really, after the first 4 minutes of the game, I thought we were able to kind of control the tempo, and we played at our pace, both offensively and defensively, and we were able to execute.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll make some additional players available in the hallway.
Miles, if you've got a question, raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone.
Miles, you guys have been really good on defense at home this season. They scored 98. Just what were they doing? What was making it so tough for y'all to get stops, string them together today?
I mean, first off, I think Clayton got off a little bit in the first half, and he gave his guys confidence, and ultimately we impacted the ball screens, got it out of his hands, and the other teams just made shots, the other people around them.
You only hit 3 threes, but ended up having 22 points this season high. Just your thoughts on your offensive performance today?
I mean, I think I got downhill a lot. I missed a couple. Got some good looks at the basket. They just went out. I mean, that's just a game of basketball. Just get back to work tomorrow and put up some more shots.
Jeff and Brian.
Miles, when you got that second chance 3 in the corner, kind of similar to 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, you're within 9. What are you thinking then after you hit that shot?
Just trying to cut the lead. Ultimately, I know we needed a couple stops. I think we came back down, and they ended up scoring again. So at that moment, we just needed a couple stops that we didn't get. So,
Miles, how do you think this team and the players are going to react to this loss?
Like any other loss, of course, it hurts. I mean, we haven't lost in a while. But I think this team is good with handling adversity. We're going to come back to practice tomorrow, watch film, get ready for Vanderbilt on Tuesday.
Miles, what made Clayton such a difficult player to defend for them?
I mean, his shooting ability. I think he was 4 for 8 from 3. I think those 4 threes he had were huge for them, and it really got their team going and just gave his teammates confidence to allow them to hit shots.
Anything else for us?
Miles, you guys fall behind by 20 something and make that run. Did you kind of sense that this team was going to keep fighting for all 40 and not pack it in when y'all have been down by probably more than you've been down all year?
No, for sure. I knew we was gonna keep fighting. We haven't been down a lot this season, so I know just seeing that, us responding to just being down and just continuing to fight, it's a bright sign. But like I said, tomorrow we gotta get back at practice, watch film, and learn from it.
All right, Miles.
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, Miles.
We'll start off by congratulating Florida on a great victory, great game plan. I thought they, being down Martin, they really rallied, and Clayton was tremendous. Our game plan defensively was to try to get the ball out of his hands, and after the first couple possessions, you would never know that was our game plan. We did it the first couple possessions, and then we stopped doing it. I kind of sensed this was about to happen at any point. We have had greater effort and energy, or at least matched the effort and energy. Every team we played, I knew that we were due for a letdown. Again, give Florida the credit. I think understand. If I were to redo a few things, I don't know that I had our team understand how important this game was to Florida, in the sense that Florida could be a Final Four team. If they lose this game, they're 4 games behind us in the league. All right. Now they're only 2, and they're still in it. I mean, they just came in here like they had to win it. That's how they played every possession, and so. They just they played harder, they played better, they played more desperately. We did not look like the number 1 team in the country. We didn't act like the number 1 team in the country. We didn't prepare like it, and as a result, we got beat.
All right, please raise your hand. We'll start with Jack and then Hoke.
Coach, back here. So coming off of a loss that you haven't experienced in Neville Arena in almost a year, how do you get the team set up for the stretch that you have coming up, starting with Vanderbilt coming up?
Practice at 2 o'clock tomorrow. We practice at 2 o'clock tomorrow. They lift at 1. I'll go home tonight, start working on a little bit of Vanderbilt, probably look at this a little bit, and just keep doing what we do. You got to embrace the grind. There's no question it's a grind. It's a grind for everybody. We go to Vanderbilt, where they've only lost once at home, and they've beaten Kentucky, and they just beat Texas today, and they've beaten Tennessee. So, we know that's going to be a tough place to win.
BP, I was just going to ask you to expound a little bit on their assist number 22. I think the most you guys had given up was 13 against Purdue. I guess what kind of just went into their ability to share the basketball?
They did a great job of making plays out of their ball screen. They did a great job of throwing it out of the ball screen. They were properly spaced, and we had a game plan that we thought was going to be effective. It wasn't, and we kept on trying to get the guys to execute that game plan instead of maybe we could have made some adjustments. But the way they played out of the ball screen and shared the ball and spaced, and they banged a bunch of shots. They banged a bunch of shots, and their bench really stepped up for them. Really stepped up for them. We missed a lot of shots inside. A lot of 2-point baskets. We'll go back and look at it and go, golly, in a big game, you got to make them. Got to make more of those.
Coach, Denver had a tough night. 0 for 4 from the field, 3 turnovers. That's coming off our game where he didn't miss a shot. Can you talk about how you're going to coach him this week and how he bounces back?
I would have to look at the stat sheet to recognize that that's what it was. I did. I looked at it earlier and went, wow, I didn't realize Denver, didn't score, didn't make a bucket. I think there was a little of a fatigue with him. I do, and because he's been terrific. So I'm not worried about Denver.
Right, Jerry, then Ferg.
Kind of looking at how Florida's front court played aggressively today. Did that kind of shock you guys today?
No, that's how they played last year at Florida. Don't forget, this team had us down 25 last year at Florida. So it was very much the same. They handed it to us down there, and they handed it to us again. And we were able to get them in the finals of the SEC tournament, but they handed it to us. And they were more physical, they were more aggressive, and as a result, they were more successful.
Bruce, you've said whenever you guys lose, it's going to be about how you respond to adversity and just how you rally from it. I know it's early, but can you kind of give us a sense of where you think this team's kind of head's going to be? It's been a while since you guys have lost.
We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
You mentioned earlier, Clayton, kind of the game plan early on was to try to keep him from getting the ball. What made that so difficult and, allowed him to be so effective as the game went on?
It required multiple effort. It just required multiple effort, and we just didn't give it.
Any other questions?
Okay, thanks.